Viva NFP!
Viva!
Viva NFP!
Viva!
Viva Heinz Park! Viva Cape Town! Viva Western Cape!
Viva! Yes.
Hallelujah!
Come on. Come on.
This is a wonderful opportunity for me to stand here in front of you all. This is a great opportunity. This is a day that is made by the Lord. I trust in the Lord that more and more of these days are going to happen in Cape Town. This is not the first and the last that the president will come from KwaZulu-Natal to Cape Town.
Today we no longer have to carry passes. And I think you know what passes we're talking. We used to call them dom pass in those days. So any non-white that needed to go into a white area needed to have a special permit. And if you did not have a special permit, they would lock you up. And at around 10 o'clock at night, they used to be driving around in these big trucks and vans or bakkies. And they used to pick up anyone that was not white in those areas, in the white areas. And they used to lock you up.
We are celebrating a very important day. Women of our country had to march to UN buildings to fight against an unjust, repressive, racist, apartheid government, to fight against past laws, and they succeeded. We are here today because of Helen Joseph, Ruth First, Dr. Loretta Ngobo, and many other women who fought on our behalf. Oh, Mama Mpati Nabanye. Today we are celebrating the fruits. So women are not just weak people, they're important people. They can occupy leadership positions. I want to say, women, I'm happy that you have stood up and have taken a rightful place.
Thank you, Program Director. Ladies and gentlemen, comrades, it is my privilege and honor on behalf of Her Excellency, the President of the National Freedom Party, VZ Magwaza Msibi, who is incidentally the Deputy Minister of Science and Technology. So I have been given this privilege of reading out this keynote address that was prepared by herself so that I could articulate it to you. It is my singular honor and privilege to be here today as we are hosting this event as the National Freedom Party to commemorate and salute influential women of our country who stood up against a barrel of a gun in defense of what they believed. As a woman myself, I really feel honored to have the opportunity to celebrate this with you today. Just to recap, on the 9th of August 1956, over 20,000 women of all races marched to the Union buildings to protest against the extension to women of discriminatory past laws that restricted the movement of black people in the country. Many of them had babies on their backs, and some domestic workers brought their white employers' children along with them. In a very disciplined manner, they left huge bundles of signed petitions outside the then Prime Minister J.G. Stridom's office. As neither Stridom nor any of the office staff will come out to meet with them, they stood in absolute silence for a full hour. Speak of sheer determination. That was the struggle of our women from 1956 to liberate all our women and men in South Africa. Comrades, as poor as they were, women once again displayed that the stereotype of women as politically inept and immature, tied to the home, was outdated and inaccurate. Today we no longer have to carry passes, and I think you know what passes we're talking. We used to call them dom pass in those days. So any non-white that needed to go into a white area needed to have a special permit. And if you did not have a special permit, they would lock you up. And at around 10 o'clock at night, they used to be driving around in these big trucks and vans or bakkies, and they used to pick up anyone that was not white in those areas, in the white areas, and they used to lock you up. We salute them because their determination was motivated by a vision of a better tomorrow. A future where their children will have equal rights to quality education, equal rights to recreational facilities, something you still don't have in Manenberg, in Khayelitsha, and in these areas here. Equal rights to shelter, to housing, and equal rights to walk on the streets in a safe environment, which you don't have, without fear of being attacked, robbed, raped, and killed. Some knew they will not live long enough to see a dawn of liberation. Nevertheless, tasting liberation was the least of their worries. All they cared for was a better tomorrow, a free South Africa, where all shared equal rights and equal status.
We do acknowledge there's a serious challenge in the country in terms of domestic violence, and we also believe that the mechanisms that we have in place and legislation that we have in the legal processes are inadequate. Very often you find that even though women go out to court and get court interdicts and things like that, when they come back, by the time the court interdict is enforced, they are either murdered or they are hurt, which is a serious problem. However, we believe, and we've always been saying this, that if you don't address the socio-economic conditions under which the people live, you're going to have a serious challenge, and it's ongoing. The problem of drug abuse, the alcohol abuse, the issue of teenage pregnancy, the inequality, the high unemployment rate, the conditions where, if you take like in the Western Cape, people are living almost on top of each other with no proper facilities. These are a serious problem. And if we don't address them holistically, we cannot change them.